Welcome to Attican Plays 2-Point Hospital. All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome back to 2-Point Hospital.
Rise and shine, everyone. And if you happen to be in Lower Bullocks this morning, watch out for the gathering of druids down the Broadbend's Ring. In a total coincidence, the town will also pay host to a psychology convention today. Should all work out nicely.
All right, it's been a while since my last 2-Point Hospital video, and that's because I've been out doing some more experimenting. I recorded a bunch of gameplay and decided not to share it with you. It was actually quite good. I was pleased with all of it, but I wanted to kind of develop my own style, kind of be able to play this the way I like to play these games. So I've been doing more and more testing to make sure that I've got this figured out, at least to the point where the style that I like to play will work. And I think I have confirmed that. So what we're going to do in this video is actually take Lower Bullocks and run it all the way through to 3 stars, and we're going to do it kind of more in line with my style of play. So for me, that is small functional rooms. We're going to go level 5 with almost every room as soon as we can, and we're going to embrace debt. We're going to move rapidly and grow rapidly by leveraging the loans that are out there for us, and just being able to grow a first-rate hospital as quickly as we possibly can. And we're going to try to be quite focused on the task at hand to get up to our 3-star level. So the first thing you saw me do there, just like the last time I did this Lower Bullocks, was to delete that existing GP office, because it's not my kind of office, and as I said before, I don't like to inherit other people's messes. I like to make my own. So what I'm doing here is figuring out how the hospital is going to flow, and I've decided that for the most part, in most of these hospitals, most of these rooms, the best way to start is the simplest way, which is literally just to build around the outsides, kind of build around in a loop around the middle, and then see where you end up, and then you can reorganize a little bit if you need to, and see if you want to use the center space. That way your center space is free in case you want to come in and put something in there later, but it also keeps a nice open flow to the hospital. So a couple of things. I'm going to try to make sure that food, drinks, and a little bit of a few leaflets and stuff are available. You see me there looking at the medicine cabinet. I've already built Hogsport, the first hospital, up to tier 3, and during that time we got a little kudosh, saved it up until I had enough to get this guy right here, the gold star. That is the by far number 1 you want, particularly if you want to have level 5 rooms without making them gigantic. So to make a small room level 5, you need something really good to bring up the prestige. Nothing better than this gold star award. You can just sprinkle this around. It's not only can you level up the room for a reasonable cost, but it adds to the attractiveness of the room. So this will be, when it's done, a level 5 GP office that's very attractive as well. So the other thing about the style that I like to use is, want to get every diagnostic office that's available to me as quickly as possible. So I want to expand out and have every room that does diagnostics, like general diagnosis, cardiology, whatever, as they come available, make sure that every one of them's in the hospital as quickly as possible, so that you have the best possible diagnosis going. It helps keep you from having a bunch of queues, and it also allows you to get to the more complex illnesses more quickly. Other thing is, of course, the one-to-one relationship, roughly, of the GP office to all the diagnosis offices. So here comes our first one. Now, the pharmacy is kind of an exception. I've said this before. It's the one exception in terms of it goes in your first room. And this first building here, I shouldn't say room, this first building is going to be general diagnosis. So it's going to be GPs and the first tier of diagnosis that we have. And in this particular hospital, we won't get much past this as far as diagnosis because this is only the second hospital. So we don't have a lot of stuff unlocked yet. And of course, for room design, the basic principle is make sure you limit the amount of walking, particularly of your patient. Make sure your patient can come in the door and go straight to wherever he's supposed to be diagnosed or treated. And if you follow that principle, you're good. And if you put a fire extinguisher as close as you can to the doorway in every room that has a machine in it, you'll be okay for fires, and you'll be able to save or salvage a lot of your machines, even if they do go on fire. And I guess the other thing to say here is you'll notice I'm having to put up a lot of those awards because we don't have a lot of neat stuff to get in there. And you probably saw me looking at the kudos a little bit ago. Our next target will be the medicine cabinet. The next thing we want, for sure, we've got the 5-star award. That's number one. Number two is the medicine cabinet, because the medicine cabinet brings up the prestige and gives you the 1% bonus on treatment and diagnosis. So that's how you, that's kind of my whole philosophy. That didn't take long. Maybe I'll just stop making videos. There you go. We've got leverage debt. Expand as quickly as you can, but expand with level 5 buildings. Build around the outsides of your buildings as the fallback design. You can always get fancier later. And get all the diagnosis buildings you can, or offices you can, as quickly as you can. And by the way, this I think it's the first one I've shown you since they put the copy in there. Awesome. You copy the rooms, and that's the other reason I like to go with the 5-star approach, or the 5-level rooms, because if you build a nice level 5 room, then when you want to have a second one, like a second GP, you don't have to spend 10 minutes editing the room. You just copy, paste, and move on. You've got another level 5 GP. If you started with a different approach where you didn't do level 5 right off the bat, then when you did copy paste, you would still have to go through and edit, maybe even edit multiple rooms in order to bring them up to bring them up on levels later on if you want to. With this approach, they're already there, and that keeps your staff happy. It keeps your patients happy. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit through this initial build until we get to the kind of next thing to talk about. Now I said build around the outsides and then use the middle as you see fit. And what I want to do here is have a central location for a toilet. So we're going to build our little Pinstar 2x4 toilet, but we're going to put it here in the middle, kind of centered up, because we've got a nice wide hallway here. And we're going to build a 2x4 toilet here. And we've already got a level 5 staff room. Now on this toilet, because it's tight for space, so we're going to level it up as close to 5 as we can get. May or may not get all the way. And remember, the key to that one is you take that door, you hold down control, you scoot it over a little bit, which gives you enough room to put in your hairdryer right next to the door. So there we go. Now we've got a nice toilet here, centrally located, convenient for everybody, and should be plenty big enough for this small building. And we're going to turn it around so that it flows right off of the main entry, but we're going to move it back enough so that there's some space there. And the other thing I almost forgot to do, we're also going to level it up as much as we can as well. This is a room practically everybody goes into. They might as well go into an attractive room that has a lot of prestige, that makes them feel good about being there, builds up their happiness, and gives them a good experience. So we're going to throw down the Magic Gold Star Awards in here as well, and come as close to level 5 as we can. It's you probably, if you're really diligent about it, you can get to level 5. Well, we just did. So there's a level 5 toilet. We've got a level 5 staff room. All the rooms are level 5. Very, very attractive, and we're off to a great start. And by the way, we haven't started the game yet. This is all stuff we do before we even hit the start button. And we've got enough money. We know we've got loans, so we'll go ahead and build out in anticipation of having treatment rooms. And we don't want to clutter up our main diagnosis area with treatment, so we're going to go ahead and expand out to another building. And now we're going to start hiring staff. And I also, another thing I do that's probably different from some people, I get the best staff I can get. We've got these loans here. Take them, get good staff, and have the right people that you need. So there's a level 2 GP. Here's a really solid doctor who can do multiple things for us. Here's another one that's pure psychiatry. So what we'll do here is set up that doctor to be a psychiatrist only, and we'll allow the other doctor to be kind of on call and go wherever needed. And that should give us good initial coverage from our doctors. Now, could we hire less doctors and save some money right off the bat? Of course we could. But when I see a good hire, I like to take it. I don't want to wait, because they don't stay there forever waiting on you to hire them. And the next batch that comes around, next time you want to hire doctors, you may not get what you want. But there we had some really good matches: a psychiatrist, someone who could do both psychiatry and GP, and a GP. Very good opening set. Now we're going to raise our prices up 30%, because they definitely will pay it. We could even go higher than that, more than likely, but 30 is definitely safe. And now we'll just wait for our first customer. Now we've started playing. We're waiting on our first patients to come in. And look at that, we've got some mock stars. Anytime you see those dudes with the white pants and the gold shirts walking with the little Elvis kind of walk, those are mock stars. And they're psychiatry patients. Now, another reason I'd rather have those people up there wandering around doing nothing than to try to save money up front is, what if by the time I needed a psychiatrist, there wasn't one to be had? Now, I think in these early hospitals, they kind of make sure you get the right staff. They give you good doctors to hire. But later on, that could be an issue. Especially now, converse, in these early ones, we don't have training, so we can't just say, I'll hire a cheap doctor and then train them in psychiatry. So I'd rather pay for the doctor, make sure I have it, and be done with it. Also want to do any upgrades. Anytime there's an upgrade, just do it. Don't wait, don't hesitate, just do it. Upgrade your equipment to the highest possible level. Now we need to upgrade a machine to open up new technology. So that's going to take the janitor a while to get done. So let's just move ahead a bit. So by following the script and upgrading a machine, now we've opened up the extractor pan, which is a new treatment for us. And they're telling us we can also open up new buildings, which of course we've already done. Now, did we buy that building too early? Sure, of course we did. Of course we did, but you can't spend money fast enough in these games. So now we're working on our one-star hospital. We've got 2 buildings. We just need to level up to level 6, and we need to cure 3 patients in a PANS lab. So we know we're going to have a PANS lab, so we're going to go ahead and take out a loan and build our PANS lab over here in our treatment building. Again, we're going to set it up for the least walk possible. And what I've found I like to do with these treatment rooms is put the treatment item in there, put the fire extinguisher in, and then go ahead and scoot that treatment right up as close as you can get to the door and to the fire extinguisher. That way we end up with the shortest walk for the patient. We make sure we have the patient part of the machine close to the door, and make note of where the staff part of the machine is for later on, for adding chairs and other things that we're going to put in later when we open them up with Kudosh. And of course we bump it up to a level 5. Now the treatment rooms, really the level 5, it's almost irrelevant for the patient, because the patient, they're within a few seconds of leaving. So
in today's headlines,
they
lottery
kind of don't
winner
matter
Arthur
anymore.
Compass has announced winning the jackpot hasn't changed him one bit. He made this announcement floating over Croquembouche in his new gold-plated hovercraft, just like he's always done.
But what does matter is the happiness of the doctor who's working in that room. So that's basically the level 5s for the sake of the doctor, and also just to keep the leveling up on your hospital itself.
It's happening again.
I've already played Hogsport, the first hospital, up to a level 3. Didn't video it because it's the tutorial. It's a little slow and boring. But we've got a level 3, and we unlocked a news agent as part of that. And so what we're setting up here in the middle is reception and kind of the take care of all your needs: toilet, food, drink, and entertainment. And we're going to do entertainment through this news agent. And the good thing about the news agent, now the bad thing is this: we have to staff it with an assistant. But the good thing is that the folks who come there, and one, they spend money, they pay for the goods they get there, and so we can make some money and certainly recoup the cost of our assistant, if not make a profit. But on top of that, they also take care of their boredom. It completely fulfills their boredom need, and they get a little happiness. So here we go. We've already hit our 1 star. We've opened up fluttering. We've opened up a new diagnostics in cardiology, and we're now able to upgrade our extractapan. So good deal all around. And now we're going to just keep going and go ahead and strive for level 2. And you can see we're well on the way for that. We got to get up to expand the hospital up to a level 8. Got to own 3 buildings. We already own 2. And we got this new one, cardiology, so we're going to put it in. Remember, one of my things is I want to have all the diagnostics that are available to me. I want all of them in my hospital as quickly as possible. Now, whether or not cardiology is ever used in this hospital in the beginning, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I want to have all the diagnostics in there. That's just kind of one of my little rules for myself is to get those diagnostics in there and have level 5 rooms. So we're going to Gold Star award this room to death. We need so many. I'm going to have to be a little more diligent in my editing here and make sure that the stars can all fit on there. There we go. Nice level 5 cardiology.
Please be aware, not being aware costs lives.
So now we've got a new disease for this hospital. We uncovered it in Hogsport actually. So we need this Deluxe to take the light bulb, turn this guy's light bulb head into a regular head. So it's a nice little 3x3. Again, one of my things is smallest room you can build. Highest level, but smallest room, conserve the space in case you need it. Now, obviously, we could build much bigger rooms. We could already be out. I'm sure a lot of people, when they play at this point, they would be out in their filling up their 3rd room and needing a 4th room because they built gigantic rooms. But I think that's fine for these easy hospitals. I think some of the harder hospitals that are either very awkward shapes or you need a lot of stuff to kind of get the hospital fully built out, I really prefer the smaller rooms. So that's just the way I play. Small rooms trumped up to be level 5, so they're just as effective. It costs you a little more because it's actually cheaper to build the bigger room than it is to put all these Gold Star awards. But I'm really thinking here of conserving space, not money. So now we can treat another illness, and we have the opportunity to do an upgrade, and I'm not sure why I didn't do that. Well, my first concern, I was double checking, do I need a doctor or a nurse to do the treatments here? Turns out to be a doctor. There, now I'll punch you in and do the upgrade as well.
Megan Puss has sent in a very thorough quote for today's nice words of the day. Remember that you are strong and blessed, that to live is to learn, and that all bad things happen for a reason, while good ones come to those who wait. That's a lot of nice words, Megan.
At this point, we're just letting our money accumulate so we can continue to grow. But notice that even though we've taken out 2 loans for this little tiny hospital, we are still turning a profit. Our money is rising. We're doing just fine, and we're getting ahead of the game in terms of all the buildings that we need. There's a good doctor who can be a psychiatrist and GP. Early on, you kind of need the flexibility because you're not going to have very many people on your staff. Later, as you grow bigger, of course, you start to specialize and have people trained specifically for either diagnostics or treatment, for GP or psychiatry or whatever, ward management, injection management, all administration, all those things. But early on, you need well-rounded doctors are actually very useful because they can bring some skill to all kinds of tasks. So let's speed things back up again until we get a little cash and we're able to make our next important move here.
We hope you've enjoyed your... The health inspector is coming.
All right, so
Please
we've
try
got a
to-
little cash and we have a task to own 3 buildings. So now we're going to buy our 3rd building. And we really do not need the space. I mean, so we could almost cram all this into the one building if we wanted to that we need. But of course, you definitely cram is something you don't want to go for. So now we'll have 3 buildings owned, so that'll finish off that task toward our 2 stars. And the only thing left to do is upgrade a machine. Now I believe at this point we have upgraded everything that can be upgraded, so we're actually going to have to put another building out there with another machine in it just so we can upgrade. And there I made a mistake because I thought I could upgrade that machine.
If you want to
it was
experience
the wrong
all
one.
of the pointy
So now
mountains
I've
have
got
to
the right
offer,
one, and I also forgot the copy on the other
stay
one.
at the
so I was
Underlook
taking a
Hotel.
little mind nap there. But now we've got
never
a
want to
machine we
leave.
can upgrade. We've got the upgrade ordered. So that will finish off pretty much. We've got to just level up the hospital a little bit. It's
Underlook
just on the
Hotel.
verge of being a level 8. Remember, your level comes from size and number of rooms and size of the rooms and what have you of the physical building plus the size and quality of your staff. So we're going to hire a few people and build out just a little bit just to get us up to that level 8. One thing you probably will find you'll have to do if you're trying to have, for example, consistent 30% increase on your prices. As new treatments come available and you have new buildings you can build, those treatments will actually get priced in at 0 markup. And to rebalance, the easiest thing is just set everybody back to 0 and then click everybody back up to 30% rather than going down to each individual one. It's really clumsy to do it individually, but works just fine to reset to 0 and then bump them up. There we go. There we got our other upgrade. Now we need to just level up a little bit. So I decided to put a nice 5-star staff room out there, and there we go. We've hit our 2 stars. Now we can upgrade that extractapan. There we go. That's what I thought we could do earlier. So we're going to go ahead and order that upgrade and start taking a look at what we have to do to be a 3-star hospital. So we see that we need to level up to level 10. We need to cure 20 patients. That's just a function of time. And we need to have a cure rate of 70%. And that is really a combination of 2 things. Efficiency, where you're not getting a bunch of queues and holding people there a long time until their health deteriorates too much. And getting the right in other words, getting the right diagnosis quickly, getting them to treatment, and then having quality treatment. So you want to have quality treatment. You want to have you want to have good doctors and nurses doing the treatment. You want upgraded machines doing the treatments. That all that improves your cure rate and makes it much easier to get the cure rate target that you have. So I'm continuing to build this out. Wanted to go ahead and put the toilet in this other building that's becoming relatively large. One thing you will notice when you use the copy is sometimes some of the items won't carry over, and it's usually a one or two of the Gold Star Awards or something that you put on a wall that maybe is sharing a wall or something like that. That seems to be the problem. I haven't really pinned down exactly where it is, but it's not a big deal. The great bulk of what you have will come through, and I finally just decided I'd let it go at 4. It's not a huge deal. And decided to build out to that other room, not necessarily because that was a strategic move, but because making the footprint of the hospital bigger could conceivably help.
Welcome back to your favorite radio station with the vastly overqualified Sir Nigel Bickleworth. I'm here to inform, to entertain, and to bring some small measure of sophistication to your drab little lives. Should any of you have any requests for popular tunes, as I believe people like to call them, do not hesitate to repress that impulse. I have no intention of playing any of that drivel.
Almost automatically put them over there in the first building. Really don't need them competing with our news agent, though. We get paid for the news agent. The leaflets are all free. As we continue to try to get our level up, decided to put in another GP office. Really, based on the ratios, we're at the point where we could use one anyway. And also, it's just helping us to level up. And now we've got one of those beautiful emergencies where they send us a whole bunch of patients. Those are awesome. So they're going to go. We already have 2 deluxe units over there, so we can handle that emergency easily and get some easy money. And now I've got a staff challenge to get the hospital up to 70% attractive rate. And the main thing I wanted to show you here is look at all the rooms. All the rooms are just glowing green because of all those Gold Star Awards. They're small rooms with a bunch of Gold Star Awards, which means that those Gold Stars can impact the entire room. As you circle the room with the stars, you end up with extremely attractive rooms, and that makes your staff very happy. It increases the happiness of each patient as they visit the room. It's a good deal. So it was very easy for us to get up to that 70%. I use plants. I'm not a big user of plants as a rule because they now tie up your janitors. That's extra task for your janitors, and I like to make sure the janitors are repairing equipment and doing upgrades when ordered, and not out watering plants. But in order to meet that challenge, I decided to go ahead and lay down some nice plants and make the hospital a little prettier. So at this point, we are literally just waiting to get our cure up to 20 and get that hospital leveled up just a little bit. So let's go ahead and fast forward again. I believe I misspoke a little earlier. I said we already had 2 loans. We'd only taken out the first loan for $50,000. So went ahead and opened up the $100,000 loan. We're making good profit so that we can go ahead and finish this off and expand the hospital just a little bit to get us up to a level 10. So added in another extractor pan, ordered up its upgrade.
Staff announcement.
And
Dr.
we're
Yuan.
just on the verge
Please
of
come
level
out.
10. I mean, we're any little change. So what I decided to do was copy the psychiatry and put another psychiatry over in that new building, and there we go. As soon as we click the build, we get our 3-star rating, and there you go. There's kind of the 3-star Lower Bullocks the Attican way.
No.
I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next 2-point hospital video. Thank you.